Thank you, Peter. Any discussion? Let's have a vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Moving on to our public comment session. Anybody wishing to speak on any matter concerning the Industrial Development Agency, please state your name and address for the record and limit your comments to 5 minutes. We'll close this session. Executive Director's report. Stacy.
I will keep this brief today, but as I noted to you all a few days ago, we have closed on the sale of property at 129 Carlin Road with Old Dominion Freight Line, who will construct a 35,000 cross-dock logistics facility at the Broome Corporate Park. They are planning a spring construction start date, so we're excited to see that property, which has sat vacant in the corporate park since we built it, put to good use. They do not do groundbreaking events, but they will do a ribbon cutting when complete. So we're excited to see that move forward. We hosted our economic forecast event today, and I will just note one of the key highlights of the program was the significantly low inventory of housing in our community and the impact of that. So I think the theme, and Peter and Elaine and several were there, Joe, as we need to do a lot this year to get some new housing starts going. So, but a great event. Thank you to board members who were able to attend.
Can I just ask one question?
Sure.
I did note that you said that in your speech, and are you talking about single family housing starts?
You know, I think we've still seen significant demand for on the rental sides, both market and affordable, but predominantly the need for single family homes is what we were referring to in that.
Yeah.
In the realtors report.
Yeah, I hadn't heard that discussed before. I'd like to pursue that conversation some other time, but to see how we can get involved.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, you know, definitely conversations I'd like to bring back to the board to see how agency programs can be utilized to support some new housing starts, which is happening in communities throughout New York State because similar needs and inventory challenges. Shortly after our meeting today, several of us will be attending the governor's budget address, which will be presented by Empire State Development Commissioner Hope Knight. That will be over at the Huron campus at the former McKinley. And I can say this because it's already been on News Channel 34. Part of today's announcement is some great news for BAE Systems, who is looking at a sizable expansion at that campus. So we're looking forward to that presentation today. I think that's it for me. I'm keeping it short and sweet today. Oh, no, it's not. And I know you've all met, but my gosh, I apologize. I would like to formally welcome Chris Andrucci with Harris Beach Murtha as our new general counsel for IDA. Chris is not new to the IDA, though. He has been our bond counsel for a number of years, and as well as lead counsel for us in our development of the Broome Technology Park. So we welcome him and wish Joe Mayer continued best wishes in his retirement. I also want to take a moment to welcome Karen O'Connor, who is our intern from Binghamton University. Welcome, Karen. Karen is a senior at BU, studying computer science, economics as well, and economics. So he is working with us on a number of initiatives related to our site analysis and inventory. And it's been great to have him with us. So now I'm done.
Welcome aboard.
Yes.
Glad to be here. Thank you.
We've all had a chance. Thank you, Stacy. We've all had a chance to review the internal financial report as of January 31st. Are there any questions relative to that? Loan activity reports as well as of January 31st. Any questions for Natalie?
I understand there was an update on perhaps our friend at Antonio.
Yes. They found him. They've had
He was on the
conversations.
internet all the time. It couldn't have been that hard.
They had a productive conversation, and we'll have more to report in a week and a half.
Thank you, Natalie.
Mhm.
Any further questions? On to new business, item number 7, resolution approving the summary results of the confidential evaluation of board performance dated February 10th, 2025. Looking for a motion out of governance, Peter.
Yes, Chairman, this was approved to come to the board from governance.
Thank you, sir. Is there a second? Thanks, Jim. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Carried. Item number 8, resolution approving the 2024 mission and measurement report of the Broome County Industrial Development Agency. Peter?
Yes, this also came through governance with a recommendation to take it to the full board.
Thank you. Is there a second? Thank you, Mike. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Carried. Item number 9, resolution approving the readoption of the agency's bylaws, the code of ethics policy, the defense and indemnification policy, the whistleblower protection policy, the compensation reimbursement and attendance policy, and the travel policy with no changes. Peter?
This resolution came through governance with a recommendation to bring it to the full board.
Thank you. Is there a second? Thank you, Dan. Any questions or comments, discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item number 10, resolution authorizing expenditure in the amount of up to $200,000 by the Broome County Industrial Development Agency to pursue a new capacity zone study by the New York Independent System Operator for the proposed Broome Technology Park located on approximately 600 acres of land on Airport Road in the towns of Maine and Union, Broome County, New York. Mr. Treasurer.
Yes, this comes forward from Audit and Finance Committee. To approve.
Thank you, Dan. Is there a second?
Second.
I'm not surprised by that, Jen. Any discussion?
Yeah, what is this?
Yes, so as part of our due diligence for the Broome Tech Park, we're looking at all factors that would impact development there. One critical one being power capacity. So essentially, anything per the New York State Public Service Commission, anything that goes beyond above 10 megawatts of power needs to have a impact study, capacity study done by the New York State Independent Systems Operator, or NISO. So
So this is primarily power.
power, yeah. So we have a goal, you know, we've sort of set a range.
So this was one of the planned studies through the, that were identified. through
It
seeker,
it
or-
wasn't, no, this is actually separate from seeker. It wasn't really something at the onset of the development of the park. We had anticipated, but looking at, I think, the power challenges across the state and the demands of larger projects in the region, and region by meaning upstate New York. We felt it would be prudent to go down the path of looking at, the first step is to do an interconnection report, which looks at if we want to achieve somewhere between 100 to 250 megawatts of power over time, you know, how can that occur? So the interconnection report will say options A, B, and C are how you do that, and here's what it would cost. We need to do that first and meet with the utility, which is NICEAG. And in order to get in the queue, as it's called, for the NISO. NISO conducts the impact study, which is approximately $150,000. We've put a cushion in there for unanticipated costs, certainly. We have actually applied for a second FAST New York application in their track B, which is their pre-development funding, to cover the costs for this. It's all reimbursable grant funding because we weren't anticipating this, but if we want to attract what we think will be mostly high-value manufacturing companies, we need to understand how much power we can really get to
So
that
this is,
site.
this is to study the capacity that might be needed, or where that capacity is gonna come from, or is it all of the above?
All of the above.
Okay.
Yeah, you got it. Yep.
Any other question? Let's have a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Item number 11, resolution accepting an application from Aptitude Acquisition LLC or an entity formed or to be formed on a later date, the company, for a leaseback transaction to facilitate the financing by the company of the redevelopment, reconstruction, modernization, renovation, and equipping of the former Quality Inn and Suites facility located at 4105 Vestal Parkway East in the town of Vestal, Broome County, New York, contemplating financial assistance in connection therewith for the benefit of the company in the form of a sales and use tax exemption benefit in an amount currently estimated not to exceed $2,568,000. B, a mortgage recording tax exemption benefit in an amount currently estimated not to exceed $552,000. And C, a real property tax exemption in an amount currently estimated not to exceed $10,074,000.
Sorry, that should be a comma, not a period. It's 10 million.
$10,074,615. I didn't notice that when I reviewed the minutes. And lastly, authorizing the agency to conduct a public hearing with respect thereto. Peter,
This too came through governance, with a recommendation to bring it to the board in anticipation of a presentation by aptitude prior to vote.
thank you, Peter. Is there a second? Thanks, Mike.
Okay.
Let's allow for the presentation, if you will. Because I think, Stacy, we heard most of what you said.
Sure.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for your time. So Aptitude Development is a multinational developer. They're based out of Elmwood Park, New Jersey. They have some existing locations.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Could you just say your name for the
I'm sorry,
board?
my name's
That's okay.
So Aptitude currently has some existing locations in New York, including a location in Ithaca. So with this project, Aptitude is looking at a potential ground up mixed use development. So this would be an apartment complex with right around 200 units, and also potential for retail space. The estimated project commencement date will be around June 2025 with completion, in Q2 or Q3 of 2027. Total estimated expenditures, capital expenditures for this project are just around 69 million. So the development would be on about 4.6 acres of land and about a 5-story high, apartment complex. Any questions or any additional information we can provide?
Are you gonna tear down the thing that's there and start over?
Yes,
Are you gonna use these, Margaret, right?
correct.
You are tearing it down?
Yes, they'll be tearing, there's an existing Quality Inn, it was built in the 70s, so they'd be planning to tear down that existing hotel and build the apartment complex.
And who is your target, population for that?
So the target market for this specific project is young professionals looking to stay within the community, live and work here, and then also multifamily tenants.
Yeah, and do you have a range for your rents?
Yeah, we haven't finalized them, but we've been looking at 50 Front Street, I think is a beautiful building, and we've been using that as kind of our North Star, if you will.
So this is permanent housing.
Correct.
Correct.
Looks like a great project.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah, we have a rendering up here. This is, Zach, correct me if I'm wrong, this is Russell Parkway running in. Yeah, and then a beautiful, beautiful building with the retail space and, very nice accommodations and.
It seems to me that this has been in the works for a long time. Was that you guys or was somebody else looking at this? Have you guys been working on this for several years?
We got the final approvals with, the town in January.
There was some murmurings about the residents in,
Yeah.
which I don't know of anything happening there. I think there was some confusion out there in the community, because we would get asked, oh, the residence inn is being redeveloped and
No, it was that
And we-
one, I remember, and I remember seeing something on the news that the current owner at that time said it wasn't for sale.
right,
And then
no,
the
yeah.
discussion kind of stopped.
No, but Natalie has been working with, Megan's with Ryan, site, as
Yeah.
the site rep and several months working on kind of developing, making sure they're understanding our process and as they're working through the town site plan approvals, which they have secured. I know you met with the county executives team yesterday as well. So, yeah, so
The best of luck. I think it'll be a great addition to that area.
Thank you. Yeah, everyone's been very supportive, so we appreciate all the communication and support from everyone.
Do you have a feel yet for the unit mix?
We're not finalizing yet, but anywhere from studios up to 4 bedrooms.
So the The Aptitude has a really good reputation from what I've seen. And you guys specialize in student housing. So under no circumstances is this gonna focus on student housing. That's
We
a
don't
question.
specialize in student housing, we do all types of residential around the country. So we're doing townhouses in Arkansas, next to Walmart's new headquarters. And that's all, again, young professionals that are moving into the tech scene there. And this is meant to cater to young professionals as well.
Taking questions from the student gallery, Stacy?
Sure. Hi, Dan. How are you?
Good. I'm Dan Reynolds. I'm with the, town of is someone going to address, the terms, proposed, terms of the pilot financing? Length of years, that's what.
So we requested the standard pilot, for housing, the 20-year pilot.
Dan, we can, if you don't have one, we can send you a copy of that. So it's essentially a 2-year freeze during construction and ramp up and then 20-year operational pilot.
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind, Stacy.
Sure.
saying,
Yeah, absolutely.
That would be appreciated. I just got word that the, town supervisor wasn't aware of the application until very recently, so, yeah. The information on it, appreciate it, Stacy.
Absolutely.
Any questions or comments?
Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you, Megan.
We have a motion and a second. Let's have a vote if there's no further questions. Remember, this is to go to a public hearing, accept the application and go to a public hearing. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Carried. Are we in need of an executive
I
session?
do not have any executive session items today.
Thank you. Looking for a motion to adjourn. Thank you, Dan. Is there a second, Dan? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We are adjourned.
I know.